Yeah, it's right around 2 p.m. now on Monday, April 29th, 2024. And I just had to make a video about how I'm trying to brush my teeth at this sink here in my bathroom. And as I keep reporting in dozens and dozens of videos that I've made over the last 3, 4 years now, the water from this tap, from my kitchen tap, and from the shower head in this bathroom intermittently, so episodically, it's not all the time, it is episodic that the water from these taps suddenly starts to smell overwhelmingly foul when I start to use the taps to wash my face, rinse out my eyes, brush my teeth, etc. Right now, I just washed my hands with this nice smelling shower gel and covered my toothbrush with toothpaste. And while I was trying to rinse out my toothbrush, all of a sudden this water suddenly started to smell absolutely foul. So overpoweringly foul that I couldn't even smell the toothpaste on my toothbrush while I was trying to rinse it out. It happens when I try to rinse out my toothbrush, rinse out my mouth, rinse out my eyes. And over the last few hours, there has been someone in the bathroom directly behind this wall making some pounding noises when I've tried to use the toilet or when I have done other personal things in my living space. Whoever keeps accessing the bathroom behind this wall, and it's pretty clear that there's somebody who has been placed in that unit now. That same person has been, engaging the same exact pattern of violent banging and slamming against the wall behind my toilet while I try to use that toilet, smacking things against the wall of the shower when I try to take a shower, filling this entire bathroom and area right here with intense smoke and fumes of marijuana, of burning rubber, of cigars when I try to use the toilet or take a shower. It often happens when I try to take a shower. Whoever likes to sit behind this wall deliberately propagates intense marijuana and cigar smoke when I try to take a shower or when I try to use my toilet. And this happens even at 3:30 in the morning. It's the same person. It's Jasmine Irizarry, the same psychopath, sex offender, and cyber criminal who Greenville refers to as their surveillance expert, who they've placed in Unit 78 behind this wall since 2013. That's not my imagination. That's a verifiable fact. Greenville are the one who told me that they moved Ms. Irizarry out of Unit 78 sometime in 2022. When I spoke with Mr. Oleg Aleseyev, the property manager, in March of 2022. Okay, now it smells fine. That's interesting. When I spoke with Oleg Aleseyev, the property manager of this building complex, in March of 2023, it was about how he had recently moved out Irizarry from Unit 78. I said, and my very specific question to him was, does she still live in this building? Do you still have her living in this building? And he said, well, yeah, she still lives in the building, but maybe we'll move her out to 191 across the street. Maybe we'll move her across the street. That's where it appears that Greenville places most of their DPH, DMH, SRO placements, meaning the legal cases that they have with the Department of Public Health and the Department of Mental Health of Massachusetts to place certain special needs mental cases and prison inmates into SROs, which are single room occupancy units, because these individuals would not be fit for a regular prison situation. My understanding is that Irizarry is one of those DPH, DMH placements. And that is something that I was informed of many years ago at the very beginning of her tenancy here, when her disruptive behavior started causing me some concerns. Like, she'd be literally screaming things at me from the parking lot when I would try to go through the parking lot in the morning to get to work. She would just sort of be hanging out in the back parking lot, and she'd start screaming stuff at me as I was walking past her. And I was like, what is up with this person? And then when I went to the office, they're like, oh yeah, well, Mr. Aleseyev himself admitted that she is a special needs placement. Let's put it that way. I'm not going to, give too much more information, but that is what I was told by management. So the same person who I've been mentioning in all these videos as making smacking and banging noises behind this wall when I try to use my toilet or when I try to take a shower appears to be affecting the quality of the water to this tap, to my shower head, and to my kitchen sink. And this happens while I'm trying to use that water for personal hygiene purposes or for food preparation. This is not a continuous thing, meaning it does not come from the tested and treated Boston water supply. The Boston water supply is tested and treated. I actually called Betsy Riley, the head of the Massachusetts Water Resource Authority, excuse me, that's a tongue twister, the Massachusetts Water Resource Authority, in July of 2020. She informed me personally that the Boston water supply is extensively treated and tested before it gets into this building. But what she said was, if the water stinks and smells foul and tastes like terrible, then there's a problem with the water once it gets into this building. And she said, you know, is it just a couple of apartments or is it many units? I said, it's a many unit building. And she said, oh yeah, anything can happen because there's so many pipes and there's so many units. Who knows what is happening to the water when it gets, you know, before it gets to your tap, but once it gets inside the building. This water needs to be tested. It is not normal for tap water to stink like feet when I am trying to rinse out my toothbrush that's covered with toothpaste. I should be smelling toothpaste and maybe some of this hand gel right here that has a minty smell, as does the toothpaste. I'm not smelling mint at all. I'm smelling the residue right now of the feet smelling, stinking tap water that only started to stink as soon as I started to rinse out my toothbrush and my toothpaste. I've been sending emails all morning, applying for positions, checking emails, returning emails, sending text messages. Today is actually a busy work from home day for me because throughout the day yesterday, there were intense fumes and smoke of cigars and burning rubber, not just filling this bathroom, but also filling the area around my kitchen sink, which is the same wall that my kitchen area shares with the bathroom of 78. It's the same corner of the bathroom of 78. Throughout this morning, there's been someone making smacking noises right behind this sink right here from that bathroom, meaning there's somebody in that unit. The last smacking noise was about 30 minutes ago, just a few minutes before I tried to brush my teeth in my bathroom and the water started to stink. So this is a man-made situation here. This is not some kind of accidental contamination of the water that, you know, could happen in old buildings. Like you don't know what's leaching into your pipes or things like that. This is somebody who's deliberately engaging in some type of contamination, and she likes to smack the wall behind this sink right here and also behind my bathroom sink when I'm trying to use those sinks to engage in personal hygiene. That happened just now. As I keep reporting, in June of 2019, I had lived here in this unit for 8 years, and the water had always been perfectly safe and fine to use. I had never, ever had any issues with the water from this tap in June of 2019. I had lived exactly for 8 years in this building and in this unit. But in June of 2019, Ms. Irizarry, on a Sunday afternoon, engaged in some very extensive plumbing work against the pipes to my sink from the wall behind that sink right there. I actually contacted management the following day. It was a Monday. And I said, what the hell was going on against the pipes to my sink? Because somebody was doing a lot of pounding and banging, and there was like, sounded like they were using a drill and stuff like that. And management said, well, we don't know about that. We don't work on Sundays. That wasn't us. So that's when the water from this tap and my shower head started to stink, to smell absolutely foul when I would try to use it, but not when I wasn't trying to use it. And then to make me really sick when I would try to drink it or use it for cooking. Management's solution at the time in 2019, when Peter Casparello had just come on board as the as a maintenance manager, was to put a filter on the faucet. The water still made me sick and it still smelled foul. So that means that whatever was in that water was not being filtered out by the filter. Filters usually only filter out a few things. They don't filter everything. It's not like a permanent barrier for anything that isn't pure and clean. So he removed the filter like a year later, and the water problems persisted. So now I think that it's time to get management involved in the testing of this water because it is a real problem. And when I'm just simply trying to rinse out a toothbrush covered with toothpaste and the water from my bathroom tap suddenly starts to stink like fish and like feet, just like the water from this tap and just like the water from my shower head, then it has absolutely nothing to do with anything that I am or am not trying to rinse out, because I try to use the different locations to see if I get the same stinking smells from the tap, and I get the same stinking smells from the tap. So it's not anything that I'm rinsing. It's something that's coming from the water to this unit.